back to Gatabud. I've been working on a very large project of creating a network of outposts that produce pretty much anything I've ever would want in the game and how to pull that off. And because we're limited to 24 outposts, the inter system cargo link proved to be problematic. Now, if you're viewing this video, I'm going to make an assumption that you have at least used the inter system cargo link before, and especially the cargo link for the same system, and that you have knowledge of that it requires helium to run, and that helium is only on certain moons that fit a similar pattern. And basically the problem that I wanted to solve is I want lots of very nice materials from lots of different systems. I don't want to have to be married to like 4 systems and do everything there and miss out on some things. And on that same note, for every system that I'm in, I don't want to have to make a helium moon just to ship it all out. That would take up at least 33% of all of my available outposts, if not more, which that really stinks. So I actually found a workable solution. We are going to create basically mass helium farms on 1 or 2 of these planets, probably 2 to 3, and we are going to ship massive amounts of helium using the inter-system link to these planets and have them be self-sufficient on their own and able to export and do everything that we wanted. I hope you enjoy this. Helium moons have a problem. They are essential to use the inter-system cargo link, but on almost every system, they pretty much all look the same. They have helium and aluminum, and then you might have one of these 3 things. And Androphen's one of the nice one that has them all. And you really don't, like, when you're limited to 24 outposts total, and there's so many unique things in different systems, the last thing you want to do is have 10 of the same moon and waste literally half of the outposts that you can make just being able to send the stuff to other systems. So I wanted to find a better way to do this, and I believe that I have. On Androphen, I have a base that sole purpose is to just make a ton of helium and export it out in inter-system cargo links. And I've done this a very specific way for this to work. You need to have it so you are not importing anything. You are only exporting helium. You are making more than enough helium to not run out. And you also have a massive stockpile. And the way that I set this up is, if you look at these 3 red threads, these are 3 extractors going into this large box. And then this box connects here, and then I go up, 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 all the way up the tower, connecting one by one. And then the final red line goes to this box. This is going to be our next connector. I have 5 operating cargo links right now that are sending helium to the 5 unique planets with these 5 cargo links that are running are sending helium to 5 different systems that have a 4-star unique extractable material. And I'm able to ship them all to one planet and get them all in one place instead of going to 6 different planets in 6 different systems. for your reference, the planets are Katydid 3, Vern 1, Huygens 7A, Carinae 3A, and Schrodinger 2. And there's an additional one that I'll show y'all later that is actually on a helium planet. It is the only one of those 6 that was. So I have a free 6th cargo link, and I thought I would show y'all how this is set up. So going back, I went over how I have 3 industrial extractors going into each box. There's 4 over here also, whose sole purpose is to pump helium into this tower, which powers the cargo links. And I wanted to make that very separate so that no matter what, I don't ship away all of my helium and then find myself unable to actually power the cargo links. So it's very important to keep that separate. Secondly, do not try to use fueled generators when doing this. I'm using advanced reactors, do anything but fueled generators, because they can get you in a very bad spot where you use up all of your helium while shipping a lot of it away, get dangerously low, and then your power generators shut off, and then the whole entire operation collapses. And until I figured out that that was truly an issue, I was failing at this and thought that this was not possible. I have since been corrected because I realized what was happening there. You would think that while you're resting or something else, the helium is filling up more than the power is draining, which is true. But when you're shipping it away as well, that adds in an additional variable that can sometimes throw a wrench in things. And if you have less than 600 left, and then one of these ships blasts off, guess what? You're at 0, everything shuts down. So that's very important. At worst, if you absolutely have to use the fuel generators, do it like I did this tower, where it's completely separate. It's a totally independent supply that cannot be impacted by exporting away, but I strongly recommend you do not use fuel generators. Now, I'm going to set up this final one to be able to export. All I had to do was connect this box and make sure that it's powered. And looky there, I have 11,000 helium in that giant tower to help power this stuff. Now, while I'm running over here, I want to go over that I have pretty much every major settlement upgrade for my character. I have the outpost management totally maxed out. That doubles my production speed on everything. I have obviously all of the outpost engineering things and research tasks done that allow me to build the high-end equipment. On top of that, I'm also building 6 of the sanitization robots. And this is also really important and helpful too, because I'm at 6 of 6, but that 10% bonus listed there is multiplicative for every robot created. So when you create 6, you're actually almost doubling the rate in which you're producing stuff. It's something like an 80% increase around that point. It's not a 60%. It's 10% times 10% and so on. So between those 2 factors, I'm almost 4xing the speed in which I'm producing helium, and I have a ton. So I'm going to get confirmation that in my outgoing chamber, there's 600 helium, and I'm just going to leave this planet. And I'm going to show you a problem that I can solve with this without wasting an outpost to ship things. And this is a really real problem that you will run into if you do any of the organic resources. This is Bardine 3, and it's a new outpost that I've created. And this animal husbandry facility produces one of the ultra rare organic materials called Gastro Delight. I don't even know what it's used for. I just want to be able to produce it. So it requires fiber, and to my dismay, I created this and realized it doesn't make fiber, even though I do have greenhouses here. So instead, this thing's just going to make lube, and do with that what you will. But I got to get fiber in here one way or another. And I was already identifying this as a planet that I would want to ship this item out, and I might as well delete my lube planet as well and just make this the lube producer. So I'm going to utilize that final helium slot from Androphen and basically shock this thing to life. Now, what I'm going to do here is, these are the export boxes, and this is going to be eventually the exporter. So I connect them in like so. So lube and gastro out. I don't have a place to actually send this yet. I'm just putting in the preparations right now. And then this is just here. I don't even know what I'm going to do with it yet. I'll figure it out later. And then I've got another cargo link inner system right here. And what I want is for this to bring in fiber, and only fiber. And on another outpost, I have set this up to where it'll do just that. And it looks the exact same. I don't need to make this video longer than it needs to be. But I have all the wiring in place for helium in, feed the cargo links, fiber in, go to the animal husbandry facility, gastro out, lube out. And then there's already water here, so that's a trivial factor. Let me just make sure it's both connected. We're good on water. So we're just showing 0 for 2 on fiber. Let's turn this on. Oh, in case you didn't already know, having too much to carry won't kill you. You would laugh at my mass right now. I weigh about probably 10 times what my starship can carry, and that's a big ship up there. So yes, this is the helium one. We're going to turn it on. I literally named the outpost Helium. Except I don't know why I did HE1. I should have done HE3. Oh, it's because it's my first helium one. That's what it up. HE2 will be the second one. So here's what's interesting though. You would think that I would need to put some starter helium in here to kind of ignite this thing and get it going. That's not the case, actually. But there's a little bit of an oddity here. The first ship carries nothing. All it does is land, and it loads nothing onto the ship because I am not sending anything away. And then it takes off. From the time it takes for that ship to touch the ground and complete its entire cycle and touch the ground again, it's about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I've found that the light years involved are irrelevant. And also a same system cargo link is also 3 minutes and 30 seconds. They just all are the same time. And that also means that shipping across the galaxy doesn't cost any more helium than it does doing one system over. So, in case you're wondering about that, it doesn't matter. However, to get everything started, I do have to just kind of sit here and twiddle my thumbs for 3 minutes. And when you're initially setting these things up, I kind of recommend that you let it play out, see the ship for a second time, and then you know it's not glitched, and you can confirm that you are getting the results that you want. Once I get confirmation that my helium numbers have risen, I will turn on the fiber link. So I'm going to go ahead and run over there and get in position. Yeah, this base is a giant battleground of really high level animals, and I'm running around with no health. So when I'm trying to build, I try to stay in there where it's safe with my laser turrets protecting me. But right now I'm out and exposed in the wild. There's the ship. It has returned. There we go. 600 helium. I am cleared to turn on the fiber now. So my fiber exporter is on this planet. You can see in the top right corner, the only outgoing resources are fiber. That's what I want. That's also on a planet that doesn't have helium that is importing it, just like I am here. Just like last time, I'm gonna have to sit here and twiddle my thumbs, waiting for the second ship to get confirmation that this is all working. There we go. 600 fiber to indefinitely create Gastro Delight. All I have to do is set up a receiving cargo link somewhere and it'll get shipped away. For now, I'm just going to grab them from the boxes. And one last thing that I like to do in preparation of shipping them away is to just make sure they're both going in the outgoing box. And that's really helpful when you're on the other end because it tells you what you will be receiving. And I do indeed see Gastronomic Delight right here. It's my first one. I'm going to take that one because I don't even think I've ever had one before. And when you empty out the box, as they are created, they should start flowing in, which they have. Now, real quick, I'm going to show you the end results of the rare inorganic materials, I'm going to go to that 6th planet that has the helium, which is receiving the goods. So let's go check that out. The outpost is in the Decaran system, which is to the right of Cheyenne, right there. And I am on this moon right here. This is where Vytinium comes from, and it just happens to be a helium moon. This is an example of a good helium moon that we actually want, but they are few and far between. And what this outpost looks like is pretty familiar. A lot of these cargo links, but they are, for the most part, just bringing stuff in. So we have the Indicite from Katydid 3. We have the Tasine from Huygens 7A. We have the Veryl from Vern 1. We have the Aldumite from Schrodinger 2. And we have the Rothicite from Carinae 3A. And then, as I mentioned before, the Vytinium is the final 4-star ingredient here. And it should come, yeah, it comes from right here. And I just have a line of boxes of these nice things. So I'm still kind of working out my major infrastructure, if you will. So I'm not yet exporting these things, but as it stands right now, I can go to those boxes, and if I ever need any, they're just here to grab. So this is right before it gets put into the exporter. I just grab that, grab that, grab that, grab that, grab that, and that. And for a planet where I really only cared about the Vytinium, it's pretty sweet that I was able to squeeze in this ultra rare material aggregator, for lack of better words, to get them all in one place and then ship them all out on this somewhere else to do whatever. So I hope this is enlightening to you. I certainly was discouraged by the helium conundrum, and I haven't visited this planet in a while. I've probably rested over 100 days since the last time I was here. The helium never even dipped. The ships are still landing. I mean, this works. As long as you set it up right and you don't do something that drains your helium on the source planet that is distributing all of this, it's going to go well for you. And I'm already seeing these boxes get replenished by those ships that have been landing. So yes, Rothicite's back. The Vytinium's being created naturally here. The Veryl is back. So within the next 2 minutes, every one of these boxes, except for probably the Vytinium, would be completely full again. And they're just constantly coming in. So I will see you again soon. This is a major building block for a extremely large settlement empire video that you can probably already tell is in progress as we speak. This is a major concept, though, that is going to make this possible. I did the math. Getting pretty much every material in the game, even with this method, is still a tall task. I'm still mapping out the proper way to do it all and how to efficiently get it all in one place, but that's what you can look forward to. So if you found this helpful, subscribe and be on the lookout for that. It'll probably take me another probably a week or two. You know, family and work first, so I move slower than the other content creators, but I promise you my attention to detail is unparalleled, and I will see you again soon, my friends. Have a good one.